Everyone thought the courtroom decision was over until one woman stood up holding a single piece of paper that was never meant to be seen again. What happened next didn't just change who owned the mansion, it exposed years of hidden moves, secret paperwork, and a truth so damaging it made the judge stop the hearing mid-sentence. Because when that document was read out loud, the room realized this was never just about money. It was about who stole a future and who was finally ready to take it back. The courtroom felt heavier than it should have, as if the air itself understood something irreversible was about to happen. Every seat was filled, yet no one moved, not even the reporters who usually whispered into microphones. Even the cameras seemed to pause as Mary rose from her chair, slowly, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from memory. Years of silence, years of swallowing truth, years of watching everything she once believed in be rewritten by someone else. She held a thin, folded paper between her fingers, so fragile-looking, yet powerful enough to shift the balance of everything the judge had just finished reading the ruling. His voice calm, measured, detached, as he stated that Cody and Robin were ordered to sell the Arizona mansion to repay $3 million owed to the wives. The words echoed through the room like distant thunder. Christine inhaled sharply. Janelle stiffened. Robin shook her head, already whispering no under her breath, while Cody sat frozen, staring straight ahead, convinced this was the end of it, that the damage had already been contained, that the story would close here. But stories never end where liars expect them to. Mary stepped forward and spoke softly. "Your Honor, I need to submit something into evidence." Her voice barely carried, yet it cut through the silence like a blade. The bailiff approached, took the folded paper, and passed it forward. The judge opened it slowly, his eyes scanning once, then again, and then he leaned forward, not dramatically, not loudly, but with the unmistakable posture of someone who had just realized the ground beneath him was not what it seemed. "This deed states the land was originally purchased by Mary Brown," the judge said quietly. And in that moment, something cracked. Robin inhaled sharply, her face drained of color. Christine leaned forward instinctively. Janelle whispered, "Oh my God," under her breath. Cody blinked hard, once, twice, his confidence faltering for the first time in years. "Yes, Your Honor," Mary said, steady now. "I bought the land in 2010 using my mother's inheritance." There was no sound, not a cough, not a shuffle. The room went silent, not quiet, but suspended, like time itself. Cody stood abruptly. "That is not true," he said, too fast, too sharp, but the judge raised a hand for silence and asked, "Mary, is there any record of transfer?" She shook her head. "None that was legal. Cody made it appear that I signed it over, but I never did." Robin stood up, shaking, her voice breaking. "That is a lie. That land was Cody's. He bought it. It was ours." Mary did not raise her voice. She did not argue. She simply said, "He forged the paperwork. He funneled the deed through an LLC I never approved and never signed." Christine let out a breath that sounded almost like laughter, disbelief mixed with realization. "So he stole your land, built a mansion on it, and now wants to sell it to pay us?" Mary met her eyes and said, "Yes." And just like that, years of confusion snapped into clarity. The judge slammed the gavel, calling for a recess to verify the deed, but outside the courtroom, panic exploded. Cody cornered Robin, whispering urgently, saying he had to do it, that she wanted the house, that it was the only way. Robin stared at him, trembling, saying, "You told me she gave it up. You said she didn't care." Cody whispered, "It was cleaner this way." Christine watched from the hallway, her arms crossed, muttering, "Clean? He calls that clean?" Back in chambers, the county fax machine printed page after page. The original deed, Mary Brown, no legal transfer, no recorded sale. The judge leaned back, rubbing his temple, realizing Cody never owned the land at all. When court resumed, his voice was colder. "This court cannot authorize the sale of property the defendants do not legally own. That land remains the legal property of Mary Brown." Robin gasped. Cody began pacing, shouting, "How are we supposed to pay?" The judge cut him off. "You should have considered that before committing fraud." And then Mary stepped forward again, holding another envelope. "This is a letter," she said, "written by Cody 5 years ago. He admits the transfer was never legal." Cody shouted that she could not show it, that she wrote it herself. Mary replied, "You hid it. I kept it." And the judge opened it, reading aloud. Mary has not signed yet, still working on convincing her. And with that, the room shifted again. Not toward chaos, but toward something darker. The judge looked up and said, "This may no longer be a civil matter. The mansion may be evidence in a criminal investigation." And then came the witness, the notary, the woman who stamped the transfer, her hands shaking as she admitted she never saw Mary sign anything, that Cody told her it was urgent, that he said it was only a technicality. And suddenly, years of deception collapsed into one weak moment. The judge asked Cody directly, "Did you instruct her to notarize a document without a signature?" Cody stammered, saying he assumed it was already signed, and that was the crack, the first visible fracture in the man who had controlled every narrative. Robin stood and said she didn't know any of this, that she thought Cody owned the land, that she would never have moved in otherwise. And Mary replied quietly, "You moved in 2 weeks after I left. You knew something wasn't right. You just didn't ask." And the truth hung there, heavier than anger, heavier than blame. The judge entered the letter into evidence and announced a forensic accountant would testify next. During recess, Mary admitted she waited years to speak because she didn't want to hurt the family more than it already was. But pain waits, and when it hits hard. The accountant revealed the LLC Flagland Holdings, created under a virtual office with all mail redirected, listing Cody and Robin as officers. Robin denied signing anything, yet her name appeared on a large fund transfer, and for the first time, her silence looked less innocent. The accountant concluded the entity was used to bypass Mary's legal rights and conceal true ownership. And when the judge called for adjournment, Mary stepped forward again, holding a USB drive, a recording from the house security system 2 days before the forged deed. Cody's voice played clearly, saying, "She won't sign, so we will do it anyway. The notary owes me." Robin asked if they would get caught, and Cody replied, "No one will ever know." But now, everyone did. And as the courtroom froze, Cody realized the story was no longer his to tell. The next morning, the courtroom felt different. Not louder, not colder, just tighter, as if every breath taken inside it demanded more effort. Cody answered with his lawyer beside him, jaw clenched, eyes hollow. Robin followed, clutching a folder like armor, her hands already shaking. Mary sat calmly ahead of them, still and composed, while Christine and Janelle arrived together, exchanging one quiet look that said, "Today, something breaks." Judge Callahan opened the session, announcing evidentiary hearings regarding the ownership of Lot 9, and the first witness was called, Brenda Talcott, the notary, whose stamp appeared on the transfer document. She walked forward slowly, her steps uncertain, her voice trembling, as she swore to tell the truth. When shown the document, she admitted she recognized her stamp, but then hesitated before confessing she never saw Mary sign it. Cody told her the signature already existed, that time was critical, that everything was approved, and she believed him. The courtroom froze as the judge asked directly, "You notarized a document without witnessing the signature?" And she whispered, "Yes, I know it was wrong, but he was persuasive." And with that, years of confidence collapsed into one confession. Mary watched silently. Christine leaned forward, realization washing across her face. The judge turned to Cody, asking for explanation, and Cody stood pale, claiming he assumed the signature was real, that he did not read every line, and the judge repeated slowly, "You assumed." And there it was, the man who controlled every narrative reduced to uncertainty. Robin suddenly stood, asking to speak, saying she did not know any of this, that she believed Cody owned the land. Mary answered calmly, "You knew something was wrong, you just didn't want to ask." Christine added, "We all trusted him, and look where it got us." The judge then read aloud the letter from Cody dated before the notarized transfer, stating Mary had not signed yet, still working on convincing her, and announced another witness would testify that afternoon, a forensic accountant. During recess, the hallway buzzed. Christine asked Mary why she waited 5 years to reveal the letter, and Mary replied, "Because I didn't want to hurt the family. But then I saw how far he was willing to go, and sometimes pain waits until the truth becomes unavoidable." The accountant, Jenna Wexler, testified calmly, presenting bank statements, LLC filings, and redirected mail, explaining Flagland Holdings was created to conceal ownership, with Cody and Robin listed as officers. Robin denied signing anything, yet her name appeared on major authorizations. The accountant included the structure was deliberately designed to bypass Mary's rights. And when court recessed again, Mary revealed a recording captured by the home security system, Cody's voice saying, "She won't sign, so we will do it anyway. The notary owes me." Robin asking if they would get caught, and Cody replying, "No one will ever know." And as the recording ended, the judge ordered it entered into the record. Cody protested, shouting it was private, but the judge cut him off, stating privacy does not protect fraud. Christine whispered to Janelle, "Now the world knows." And when testimony resumed, Christine took the stand describing how Cody told her she had no right to question the house, how she gave years of loyalty only to be quietly erased. Janelle followed, laying facts without emotion, recalling being told the mansion was not meant for shared use, and only now understanding what that meant. Brenda returned, visibly shaken, confessing she had been paid in cash the day before notarizing the document, and when asked by whom, she whispered, "Cody Brown." Gasps echoed as she collapsed from stress, and a medic rushed forward. Robin turned to Cody, asking if it was true. He did not answer. She then requested to testify, admitting she benefited from the home, but signed nothing, trusted everything, and stayed silent while others lost everything. Her apology hung unanswered. Cody exploded, accusing everyone of benefiting from him, of living off his efforts, and Mary rose, cutting through him, saying, "Love." In the end, the mansion that was never theirs was returned. The lies were exposed, and the women finally took back what had been stolen from them. Cody's empire of control collapsed under the weight of truth, and for the first time in years, the family could breathe free. But justice isn't always clean or simple, and as the courthouse doors closed, the story didn't end, because the real consequences were just beginning, leaving everyone to wonder what the next chapter of betrayal, exposure, and reckoning would bring.